Are you or someone you know looking to buy or sell a home? When you use a HomeGain Realtor to buy or sell a home, you can get $150. Visit HomeGain.com and click on the Promo 150 banner at the top of the page to get started. Compare HomeGain Realtors and choose your favorite. Complete your home purchase or sale transaction with a HomeGain Realtor, and HomeGain will pay you $150. Get started today by going to HomeGain.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Real Estate 360 Live. I'm your host, Ryan Sloper, joined today by my guest, Louis Cammarosano, the general manager of HomeGain. Quick little reminder that Real Estate 360 Live is designed to build the Washington, D.C. Metro's housing and credit markets. Like I said, if you ever have any credit problems, whether you're trying to figure out whether refinancing your home right now makes sense or not, whatever it may be, real estate finance, credit-related, reach out to me at 877-245-2030. That's 877-245-2030. I want to go into this week's Market Mover segment, which is basically where we let you know if there's anything that can happen this week that can move interest rates one way or the other. This segment was brought to you by HomeGain. HomeGain is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com today to see what I'm talking about. All you have to do is type in your home address, and you'll get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. It's a great way to monitor your home's value, and it's totally free. So check it out today at HomeGain.com. So I want to dive in, Louis. One of the big questions that a lot of people have is, should I stage my home when I'm trying to sell it? And a lot of people, I think, actually make the mistake after their house sits on the market for 120, 150 days that they want to go back and then they hire another realtor, and then this time they're willing to stage the house because the last realtor that they used suggested it, but they didn't do it, and now they feel like that they just need to try all options available. I believe that there was, and you had sent me this article as well, Louis. According to the Real Estate Staging Association, the group studied 174 homes that had been on the market for an average of 156 days before homeowners hired a professional home stager, and after staging, they sold an average of 42 days after relisting. So that's pretty telling to me that staging is a major component to selling your home and selling your home for top dollar and quickly. And you guys also did a survey on this as well, did you not?
We did. Every year we do a home improvement survey where we ask realtors what are the top 10 things you can do to get your home sold faster and for more money, and how much they might cost and what the return on investment might be. And staging came in fifth in the list of things that real estate agents recommend. Number one was clean and declutter. Number two was lighten and brighten. 3 was repair electrical appliances and plumbing, and 4 was landscaping, 5 was staging. One of the things you have to be careful about is whether your home is a proper candidate for staging, because included in staging is cleaning and decluttering and lightening and brightening, and depending on the value of your home, depending on whether you're doing a short sale or foreclosure, you may want to consider just doing the first 2.
Right.
Now, a stager will always tell you, you should stage your home, just as a real estate agent might always tell you should buy or sell a home.
Yep.
You have to take into account the professional you're getting the advice from. So staging certainly has its place, is valuable, but just like in any service or good that's offered, it may not be for you.
Sure.
And it may be for you, but you have to consider your other options. Are there cheaper options? Can you just clean and declutter the place and lighten and brighten it? Will that do the trick?
Yep. Yeah, and I think that, especially you brought up a good point, whether, it's a short sale that's taking place, at that point, I feel like the home seller, they're not as inclined because, they're not going to receive any profits from that sale.
Well, the worst thing possibly, not just for economics, but also for your psychology, is to make the place look really beautiful on your way out the door when you're doing a short sale.
Sure, I totally agree. And,
and you're just trying to get rid of the house, and then you got to make it look really nice. Now, if you put aside the emotion, it may help sell the house quicker, but generally a short sale kind of sells itself because of the lower price already.
Absolutely.
Make it look attractive.
Yeah, the price is definitely the primary driving force in those type of transactions. In my own personal dealings, Louis, I found, especially in the Northern Virginia area, so it's very competitive. We have a very low supply of homes. There's plenty more buyers that are out there right now than there are properties available. And what I've seen is that properties that have been staged professionally staged or whether they're just staged by the homeowner himself or herself, are getting multiple contracts and getting bid up quite often. And I know that part of that is because that we have such a low supply that it's basically everybody's vying for the same property that is like move-in ready. But in the Northern Virginia area, what I think it means is that the better it looks, the more money you're going to net.
Brian, I look at that as the same way as you go for a job interview. All things considered equal, the one who's dressed better and behaves better in the interview is going to get the job. I mean, you have to dress your home for success, and staging is the ultimate way of doing it. It's not just cleaning and decluttering, and it's not just lightening and brightening.
Yeah, but I even think it's almost a step further than that too, Lewis, is a lot of the times, you can look online and find photos of properties, right? And that's like where most people start their searches online, where they start going through properties. And, if you have pictures taken of a property that's unstaged or not decluttered and stuff like that, or in a lot of cases, Lewis, there's real estate agents that are not even posting photos of listings.
That's just ridiculous.
I mean, how do you, as a professional, take a listing and not put a photo on there?
You still see it, you're right. And it's not like a digital camera is such a luxury that you can't afford it. And you could take decent pictures with your iPhone.
Absolutely. And my big thing is that, okay, great. So now that you want to put the house on the market, it's important that, not only do you have it somewhat cleaned and decluttered for when people come in there, but make sure that it's clean and decluttered before the pictures are taken. I mean, honestly, like people, this is the first place they look. And obviously the first impression is what they see online. So if you've got great looking photos, it might actually make your house look better than what it really actually is. But at least you're going to get that traffic coming to your house at that point. A lot of people will, in that split second, just make the determination that, hey, we're taking that one off the list because it didn't have any pictures. Or
it's probably the same thing when you go on an interview. The interviewer probably decides within a minute whether he's going to really be interested in continuing the conversation.
Absolutely. So, but I do totally agree with you, Lewis. I think a lot of this you can do on your own. I mean, I always tell people that, you want to make the same impression as that if you were going in to buy that home, what you would want it to look like, how clean you'd want it to be, and what if you saw like a shirt thrown in a corner, what that obviously means of the people that lived there before you. Or, you know what I mean? It's like this is your only impression, really, once those people get there, they're going to be trying to figure out, okay, who lived there? Did they take good care of the house? Are there any, underlying issues? And I mean, if you're decluttering, lightening and brightening, making everything seem open and airy, you have a much better chance of getting that house sold.
Sure, and you want to listen to the real estate agents on this one rather than the stagers. Not that the stagers are not providing valid statistics to support the case for staging, but the real estate agents are the ones who know when you do the top 10 things, what the most effective ones are. And according to our survey, staging is recommended by 79%, which is decent, but the lightening and brightening and cleaning and decluttering are 96 and 99% respectively. And for your listeners, you can go and check out our survey, but it's going to the homepage of HomeGain.com and clicking on the icon, what are the top 10 do-it-yourself projects, and you can see what real estate agents recommend. And also when you look further at that article, you'll find checklists that tell you exactly what's involved in lightening and brightening, cleaning and decluttering, landscaping, and so on. It gives you tips on what to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great survey, and it's a great place for people to go, especially, if you're thinking about selling your home, just to get some general information and get a feel for, what you feel, might be necessary to get your home sold. But obviously, working with the professional that understands this thing, and like I think, Lewis, the biggest thing is just knowing your local market, because in some markets, it's not necessary to do anything right now.
I would think the lower priced homes, you don't really need to stage them. You just need to clean them up. But when you're in a competitive environment where prices are relatively high, for example, in the Washington, D.C. metro area, and you want that edge, I would say go the full hog and hire a stager.
Sure. I mean, and this is...
It also depends on the quality of the stager. You want to get photos of their work and see what realtors they've worked with and see what their own statistics are, not just take staging in general statistics, but really look at the specifics of particular stagers if they have that data available.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people think that sometimes staging is going to be so expensive that they're not going to be able to do it, and that's just not the case. I mean, a lot of the stuff you can do on your own. and a lot of it is very simple, as Lewis has already suggested. I mean, decluttering, I mean, that's not very hard to do. Opening up all the curtains and letting a lot of natural light in, making sure that the lights are on when people come through the house to see it. That's one of the biggest things that I see, Lewis, that really gives it has a negative effect on the potential buyer when they walk into that house and it's completely dark, and I have to go through and flip all the lights on. Because it doesn't appear, as just like a happy place that you want to be. So, I mean, that's just one tip that I know. If you know that you're going to have a showing, to be able to leave those lights on. I know you're worried about your electric bill a little bit, but it can net you literally thousands more dollars just because it's going to have a better first impression. I mean, those are very inexpensive things to do.
Right. You have to be focused on the things that you can do that will be good to get the home sold. And a stager may be a little on the artistry side, and so you have to consider whether the things that the stager wants done are more, things that they like to do to, in their sense, say they do their job better, but it's really economics over artistry. You have to make sure that everything that the stager recommends and any expense connected with what they recommend is actually going to make sense. For example, they could recommend that you put in a new refrigerator.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe that might make sense depending on the price of the home and whether the kitchen is a marquee kitchen that would actually help sell the home. But the stager is going to want to up, obviously, the cost of their services, and they're going to want to do the best job in their mind that they can, but the best job for you may be that you don't need to spend all that money. Just like when you bring your car to the mechanic, he'll want to fix everything.
Yep.
He'll tell you everything needs to be fixed now, and, it probably does, but maybe it doesn't right away.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the one thing that I'll say for actually homes that are vacant, or and this happens a lot in the Washington D.C. metro area where there's a lot of military and they're having to relocate really quickly, is that a lot of these homes when they're empty, it does kind of detract away from the house because people can't really envision themselves and how they would have the furniture. In those cases, sometimes, Louis, I feel like it is smart to have at least the stager come in and give at least just give their recommendations to you, because
you have to make sure that the way that they're recommending makes sense for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is definitely something that, people should consider. We're coming up on a break. When we come back, I want to jump into the student loans. We discussed this a couple weeks back, and I want to dive further into it. Student loans have soared over 275% over the past decade. When we come back.